Welcome into another episode of the Brand X Podcast, episode 117. I am one of your hosts, John, and alongside me, Deuce.
Come stop, bitches. Happy belated 4th.
It is. Did you have a good 4th?
Yes, it was very nice. Very. It was a 4th of July that I remember when we were kids. Just simple, easy going. The weather was nice.
See, I know we've had this discussion in this.
Is this another holiday you hate?
It's not. I know. I love the holiday. I don't like it in the middle of the month. I don't like it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday. I want it on a Monday and a Friday. We've been over this before. Because what happens is you're off the day and the next day feels like a Monday. And here it is like Wednesday feels like a Monday. Now, I know it's a short week. I get that.
First world problems.
It is a first world problem, and I'm a first world kind of guy. I just don't like it. I think it should be, we've talked about this. It should be Independence Day, and it should be the first Friday or Monday. I don't care which, in July.
Do you know what holiday even means?
Yeah.
What?
It's a day off. That's what it means.
It means holy day. That's why Christmas, they don't make a Monday holiday out of it. It's a holy day.
Okay.
That's what the 4th of July is. It falls when it falls.
I don't like it. I cannot like it.
Commie.
How am I a commie? I still like the day. I want to fly a flag. I want to eat a hot dog. You know, I want to have some watermelon. I want all that. I just don't like it in the middle of the week. So, now, some people love it in the middle of the week because this way they could take vacation. They could take Monday and Tuesday off, and so then they have like a 5-day, or that they could take Thursday and Friday off and have like a 5-day. It's like a mini vacation with only 2 days used. I get that part of it. But then again, like there's Veterans Day, and that's
always on the 11th.
Fuck, it is always on the 11th.
They tried to make it a Monday holiday, and the veterans said, fuck off. And good for the veterans. I'm glad they stood up for that.
Whatever.
So there's only, actually, I think there's only five legal holidays now that will do that. It'll be Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, probably Juneteenth now, which it did happen to fall on a Monday.
It did fall on a Monday, yeah.
Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Yeah, well, you should see.
So really, those are the only 5 that fall on Mondays.
You should have seen all the racist motherfuckers put their trash cans out on Juneteenth because they didn't realize it was an actual.
They collected trash on my holiday.
No way.
Well, yeah, because we got private trash pickup.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
if you live in a town that doesn't have city workers and it's private,
yeah,
they're picking the trash up.
They
pick it up on Memorial Day and Labor. Well, no, that's not true. I'm lying. Memorial Day and Labor Day, they don't. But everything else, it's like, barring Christmas, of course.
That's another day that I would move to the list.
That's how you are.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I would.
Move over, Jesus. This is all about me.
I like to have comfort. I just want things to go smoothly. All right, hang on a second.
It's been a busy month for me anyway, so... I missed not doing this last week because the holiday did fall in the middle of the week. So I wasn't sure when we were going to be recording. I thought we would have a shot at Wednesday. I didn't think Tuesday was going to happen, being that was the 4th of July on Tuesday.
Yeah, I forget what was going on Wednesday.
Well, you do the bunker usually on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't bother me. I can do the bunker and this. It doesn't really bother me.
Changing the subject now.
Let's go in a Wayback Machine and see if you remember this.
Go, go, gophers, watch 'em go, go, go. 2 little Indians, no others near.
Underdog.
Colonel, he vows these 2.
It was from the Underdog, kind of same people, same class of people.
Yeah, 1959 to 64.
This says 67 to 69.
Well, that one. But Bullwinkle, Rocky and Bullwinkle was 59 to like 60, let's say 66.
Yeah, that was that whole, I guess, genre of cartoons. Underdog, this.
Yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Underdog, Go Gophers.
I saw this on TikTok the other day. I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought of Go Gophers in forever.
Too soon disappear, fighting the army blue, soldiers galore. What can 2 Indians do?
Could you imagine having, what can the Indians do? Gubba, 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 gubba. Out. I can't believe that you made fun of what do they call them now? I always used to
indigenous
say,
people.
You made fun of indigenous people.
They were Native Americans, but they've moved on to that to indigenous people.
Right, indigenous.
Truthfully, no one here is indigenous.
Yeah, it's just I love this part.
Indians do. Go, go, gophers, watch 'em go, go, go.
Well, you know what? He got away with it. Because the Indians didn't have televisions.
They had televisions in 1969.
Yeah, the Indians didn't.
No, nobody, you know what? Nobody gave a shit if somebody said something about, like, if you were an Indian. They didn't care. It wasn't a big deal. They didn't have this thing where all of a sudden everybody went to be offended. Or, better yet, white liberal women decide to get offended for you. Oh, I'm offended because I'm going to stick up for indigenous people's rights. How dare you go? Ooga booga wooga wooga bugga boo. How did that go again?
Do you remember F Troop?
Yes, yeah, I loved F Troop.
Yeah, F Troop. Well, the Indians, they were like the smart people in that.
Oh, okay.
You had the people in the cavalry at F Troop in the fort. They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, they were the dunces.
Yeah, they were like, oh, someone's breaking through.
That must be.
You know what it is? It's my email still open.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
That's all right.
Let me lock that out. Oh, goody, spam. Something I'm not interested in.
Oh, well, we'll send it to some guy I know, and he'll read it on his podcast, on his YouTube show. But the cartoons that we grew up on, there was violence. You could talk about...
Speed Racer was incredibly cool and incredibly violent.
Was it violent? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Just go on YouTube and, like, everyone died a horrifying death in a car crash.
Oh, that's true.
Because the car would, like, flip over and over in midair, and it would always land roof down. So, you know, that guy's like...
Right. Yeah. And then, like, 5 seconds later, it exploded. And that was it. It's basically over. Game over.
Pop's Racer was a badass because me and Joe, we had an uncle. Uncle Carmen was like a badass. And Pop Racer not only resembled Uncle Carmen, but he had the same temperament. And one of the best episodes in Speed Racer, he's beating the shit out of all these guys that are trying to, like, get a hold of the Mach Five's plans or something. And Pop Racer picks a guy up by the ankles and beats another man with him. That's fucking badass. If you beat another man into submission with another man by holding him by the ankles and just beating his ass, that's the best. It's just like, there's nothing better than Pop's Racer. He was the supreme WWE wrestler. He really was. Sometimes I go on YouTube, and when I have nothing to do, I just punch in Speed Racer videos, and it's like, this is awesome.
I haven't even watched Speed Racer.
Oh, dude. It's like, we must have been so ramped up on sugar because Speed Racer, the dialogue, they had to translate it into Japanese.
Right.
And it was like, Speed, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't win the race because I said it's dangerous and you cannot do this. And we were following the plot just fine. Now I watch it older, like, how did I follow this as a kid?
How do I understand?
It's so fast-paced.
Spritle and Chim Chim.
It had to be all that fucking Kool-Aid. Just like all sugar, all ramped up.
You would come home from school in our area, and there was Ultraman, Speed Racer, Kimba the White Lion.
Well, there was tons of... There was Ultraman, Johnny Sacco and his Flying Robot, Goldar the Space Avenger, Marine Boy.
I don't remember those.
No?
No.
Well, you're a little bit older than me.
Yeah, but still, I was watching cartoons back then.
I was watching them well past senior year.
Who was the cartoon where the guy got his strength from smoking cigarettes?
Tobar the 8-Man.
Tobar the 8-Man.
Yeah, it was Tobar. There was Astro Boy.
I remember Astro
That was
Boy.
early manga.
Yeah.
So it was Speed Racer, Marine Boy, Tobar the 8-Man, Astro Boy. And then the live action was Ultraman, Johnny Sacco and his Flying Robot, Goldar the Space Avenger, Goldar, Silvar, and Gam. You blow on the whistle once, Gam shows up, and then you blow twice, Silvar shows up. What are you going to do with her? And then 3 is Goldar. He shows the fuck up, and he lumps up all the fucking giant monsters.
I don't remember any of that.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Nah, it was like, it's just like, and then it was like, well, Channel 17, whatever it was back then, PHL 17. Yeah.
PHL 17.
Okay, that was the Wee Willie Weber show.
Remember him?
So he would show Ultraman, Johnny Sacco, Marine Boy, and various others. Channel 48 with Dr. Donald D. Rose, he was the host.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind. I forgot about
I
Dr.
saw
Donald.
your face light up.
Holy shit, I forgot all about him.
So Dr. Donald D. Rose, he would have Speed Racer. For some reason, Channel 48 had Speed Racer. And they would have Star Trek, the original. There was no Next Generation back then. It was, and Dr. Shock was on Channel 17.
Yes, that was on Saturday, though.
Yeah, we met Dr. Shock.
I met Wee Willie Weber. You know, Wee Willie Weber was like 6'4".
I think he's still alive.
No, he died.
Did he? He must have just died because he was at an appearance. Well, I'm going to say it's before COVID. COVID really just wiped my mind clear because the whole world shut down for like 3 years and we didn't do dick. But I remember him being at I'm lying if
Dr. Shock?
No. Wee Willie Weber.
Okay.
Dr. Shock died real young, but he was in Genghis's store. But he wasn't dressed as Dr. Shock. So he was a customer at my father's restaurant.
I didn't know that.
And he was like, "Oh, come on, there's somebody I want you to meet." And we walk out there, there's just this dude, like, standing there. And he had, like, a sport jacket on, tie, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you know who that is? Mm-hmm. It's Dr. Shock." And we're like,
I don't think so.
That doesn't look like Dr. Shock. Because we're like, me and Joe were like 9 and 8 at the time, so that's not Dr. Shock.
You're back there making pizzas.
Yeah, so it was like, we were like, we just happened to be at the store at that time. He didn't impress us into servitude until we were like 12 and 11.
Oh, okay.
So we were still miles away from that. But and then he signed pictures of him because he whipped them out. He had them like, "Hey, here I am. I'm Dr. Shock."
Who carries 8x10 pictures of?
Well, you know what? That I used to say that, but we also met Sally Starr, our gal Sal.
Yeah, our gal
She
Sal.
did Popeye. She was also on Channel 48 with Bozo the Clown.
I thought she was on. So I thought she was on ABC, which would be Channel 6 here.
Well, yeah, but then when they syndicated. I remember her being on 48 like later on, the Popeye Hour. So you might be right. It might have been 6. Gene London was on CBS.
Gene London was the guy who...
Magic Mirror on the Wall.
And also you went to Quigley Mansion, which was the haunted house. And they were trying to always get the golden fleece. Mm-hmm. And he said shit
all men are trying to get the golden fleece.
We didn't realize what that actually was.
Oh. And not that Gene London was incredibly heterosexual, because he is not.
Who knew? I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't know.
Well, he didn't prance around like some fanook.
No, was it like Richard Simmons?
Yeah, he didn't do any of that.
With his shiny skin and his gym shorts.
We didn't see any of that shit.
He was pretty well ensconced in the closet. I think he's still alive.
I don't know.
He's a New Yorker, or from the north. He's from like Duchess's end of the world.
Okay.
And then he was on down here. Saturday morning, he was on TV.
Yep. Let me tell you my Wee Willie Weber story. So I'm working at the Rittenhouse Hotel. One side is a hotel. The other side is condos. And I mean, these are very expensive condos. So Wee Willie Weber must have made fucking bank all the years that he was. He was retired. He wasn't even on it. So anyhow, I'm sitting there. I'm waiting in the lobby. And all of a sudden, the door opens up. And there's Wee Willie Weber. And he's like 6 foot tall. And I did, when you just said Dr. Donald Rose? Yeah.
Dr. Donald D. Rose.
Dr. Donald D. Rose. Well, the doors opened up and my face went, Wee Willie.
He's probably used to that reaction, too. Yeah. He just rolled with it, right?
Yeah, I'm 35 years old, right? I'm sitting there and I go, oh, my God, Wee Willie. And he's like, how you doing? And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you're so tall. I said, it doesn't make sense, the Wee Willie part. But I said, I grew up with you. I did. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched it from the time I was like, when I could remember. When we first got our TV, the first TV we had only had 3, 6, and 10. It had no UHF. I begged.
Here you go. 3, 6, 10, and 12.
That's true. That's right.
And UHF was 17, 29, and 48. Fuck you. You don't need anything else. Oh, and whatever the PBS station was on UHF, which was 23.
Right. But then they had the Spanish station. It was up in the 50s, like 57 or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
no one cares.
Who cares about that shit? So I was like...
That's when the invasion began.
Yeah.
When they staked out their claim on UHF.
So I'm sitting there like, hey, Wee Willie, I'm fanboying the Wee Willie. So he walks out, and they have a concierge there. And, I did whatever I had to do. I come down, and I go past the concierge, and he goes, oh, I see you're a Wee Willie fan. I go, who isn't? Every kid in this area grew up with that guy.
Right.
I said, how long has he lived here? He bought that condo when it first went up. Like, in other words, he had that much money from being just
in the 70s, probably, or the 60s, maybe even.
Like early 80s is when that building was finally finished.
Okay.
He was one of the first guys to buy a condo over there, and he lived there till he died.
That's probably a couple of $1 million.
Oh, easy.
Oh, I mean, what would it be worth to buy one now? It's probably $2-3 million.
Dude, you had to pay like $400 a month for just
the association fee,
right? And then you had to pay, like, you tipped the concierge. Like, they had concierge. Like, if you sit there and you said, I want a cheesesteak or something like that,
right?
You would tell the concierge, can you get me a couple cheesesteaks from, I don't know, Jim's cheesesteak.
Whatever.
Guy would jump in a cab, go get your cheesesteaks, come back.
$100 tip.
And then you tip him when he came up to the door. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was like crazy money. But I have a similar story to that. You've been to my old store.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Larry used to work for me, Larry was a frail guy. You and I know this, but for the audience, he was a pretty frail guy. He really couldn't do too much. He wasn't supposed to live past 9 months, and he beat the odds. He lived to be 51.
Yeah,
and then he just passed a couple years ago. So I gave him a job. So I would be getting ready to close the store up. So I'm in the back and I'm mopping the floor, and we had the alarm chime. So when the door opens up, like bing bing. Bing, bing, all that shit. So I'm back there mopping. Larry's up at the cash register. And bing, bing. And then I hear the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies, Harry Callis.
No shit.
And it's like, could I have a pack of Parliament 100? Anybody from the Philadelphia area would know Harry Callis's voice was. In fact, his son is a broadcaster for the Tampa Rays. He had a distinct voice, and I was like, that has to be Harry Callis. Harry Callis is also a tall son of a bitch. He was easily like 6'4", 6'5". And
he was that tall?
He was a tall dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was very, very tall. And here on Thursday nights, remember the Coral Reef?
Do I?
Yeah, okay. Well, also known in legend as the Oral Beef, because... That's where guys John's age would go and pick up like 18-year-old chippies. But anyway.
Hold on.
He would go ahead.
I was going to say, 22-year-old John used to go over there to pick up cougars.
Oh, yeah. It was just a meat market.
Oh, yeah. He used to go over there and try to pick up cougars.
So apparently every Thursday night, the Coral Reef would send a limo to pick up Harry Callis. I don't know where he lived. And he would stop at my store and get a pack of cigarettes, and then he would do.
Sorry,
he would do the the event.
Right.
So he would disc jockey or whatever he was doing in there. From that point on, every Thursday until I sold that store, Harry Callis was in my store, and then the Oral Reef strangely burnt down. Some say it might have been suspect, but it's still empty till this day. That lot.
Jewish lightning?
The Coral Reef burned down like, well, shit, man. I sold my store it's going to be 22 years I sold it. That burned down like at least 18 or 19 years ago.
Dude, I would go in there on like a Thursday night.
How big was it? It didn't look like it was that big.
It wasn't, but so I go in there.
It was like the size of a postage stamp.
I was 22 years old. Okay, so I go in there, and all the guys had their uniform on. Gray slacks, white turtleneck, blue blazer. That's every fucking guy in there wore the same fucking thing. So I come in there, dressed like that, and the women in there, and they're dancing. So you go out there, you start dancing with some older. It was so easy to pick up like a 35 or.
Well, we all know why we're there, so it's like why dawdle around with formalities? Let's get to slamming the ham, baby. Let's go.
The Coral Reef was amazing. It was a very target-rich environment, I'll be quite honest with you.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
They loved the 22-year-old guy.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Of course. All right, so here's Harry Callis. This was after 9/11 when he welcomed everybody back to baseball.
From the cradle of liberty, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Do we have closure? No. No, the heinous acts of terrorism last Tuesday will be with us for as long as we all shall live. We are all Americans, and we are proud to be Americans. And we must never resort to the thinking that created Tuesday's acts of terrorism. They were born of hatred. We as individuals, we as a nation, must never hate. More than ever before, we must stand together and live by his words. Love one another.
There you go.
So imagine that voice. You're in the back. You can't see shit. And you hear, could I have a pack of Parliament 100s?
Your head snaps around.
You know, like there's only one voice like that.
Yeah, I started listening to Phillies games when I was about 10, and he broadcast every Phillies game until the day he died.
I was so glad that they won the 2008 World Series because he passed away right after that.
He did.
So then when the Phillies went and faced the Yankees in the World Series in 2009, and they lost, like they usually do when they faced the Yankees in the World Series in 1915 and 1950, but I digress. And they had his jacket when he passed away. Every game, his jacket on a hanger hanging up in the dugout as an homage to Harry Kalas.
When they won the 1980 World Series
against the Kansas City Royals.
He couldn't call it because it was a national game and the national guys called it.
Right.
But in 2008, he got a chance to call the game, which was amazing for him. I was working in the elevator business. I was down the shore, and I found out that he had died. He was at the He was getting ready to do a game at the Washington Nationals, and he was up in the booth, and he just slumped over. And they tried to resuscitate him, and that was it. He died. I mean, he died doing what he loved. He died in the chair.
And Richie Ashburn was his. That was, you know, they used to always say how good Harry Kalas and Richie Ashburn were as the broadcasting call by call, and you're like, well, of course they're going to say that because it's the home team. But then when I would travel around country, you know, with my last job. And I would tune into local affiliations. I mean, everyone else, it was actually true. Like, everyone else really kind of sucked. Like, Harry Kalas was, like, pretty good. I like what he would call out the umps, but he would do it in a gentlemanly way. So how many times have you heard this? And that ball goes straight down the middle of the plate for a ball. You know? So, in other words, the umpire, it's a strike. But the blind umpire just decided to call it as a ball for whatever reason, you know. And he was a real gentleman. He really was, the way he would do things like that.
All right, so here's these two guys. Now, this guy's been calling baseball games his entire life. So they go to St. Louis. He's from the Seattle Mariners, I think is who he is. So he goes to St. Louis, and they're doing a pregame. There's a guy sitting. I wish you could see this. There's a guy sitting next to him. He's got like an Andy cap on, big beard. And so they're sitting there talking about what they did during the day. Being in St. Louis as a tourist.
A phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum and Arthur Bryant's Barbecue.
What the fuck was that?
He went to say Negro League Museum, and it didn't quite come out that way. It was
a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum.
That's where you should drop that beat
and Arthur
that you're always using on touches. That's where that belongs.
Yeah. So then he comes back. He does the apology. You know what? I would never do the apology. I misspoke. If you guys can't understand that, and you want to fire me because I don't say that. I never say. Fuck. I gotta leave that in there. I didn't mean to say. I meant to say Negro. It's on the fucking sign. But I didn't. I said
Nigger League Museum.
The guy next to him doesn't break character. He doesn't go, oh my. He just sits there with
I never heard that. I don't remember that at all.
Glenn Kuiper, who was the Oakland Athletics, was.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
Oh, it just happened. I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, 2 months ago. And in the description, it has NI88ER. Come on. See, this is the problem I have.
Well, probably because it would have probably been deleted had they used the proper, because the computer wouldn't recognize that.
So now all of a sudden, blacks and everybody says you can't say that. So what we do is we say N-word, N-slur, NI88ER, but we all know what we're saying. We all know. If I say, listen, I'm not going to say Everybody thinks that.
Do you remember
word.
when Jimmy the Greek got fired? Me and my father were watching that at the time because, first of all, Jimmy the Greek was a horrible odds maker. If you wanted to make a mint at football, all you had to do was bet exactly opposite of whatever Jimmy the Greek told you to do, and you would make a mint. And we were watching that. Me and my father looked at each other, and we were like, I can't believe this is happening in real time. This was crazy. That was about what, like 1984, 85?
I'm trying to find one where he doesn't. Let's see if this works. Here
Reporter from WRC-TV was asking questions about Martin Luther King's birthday and the progress blacks have made in society. There, CBS sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder gave his impressions of blacks in coaching in the National Football League.
First off, he's at a dinner. He's about 6 or 7 old fashions in. Guy walks up with a microphone.
Why do they gotta be old fashions?
Whatever. Whatever it is. It could be old fashions.
It could be kamikazes.
Could be kamikazes. He's a few cocktails in. You know, he's thinking about this, and the guy comes up and he wants to give an honest answer. Here we go.
We do have 2 other wonderful guests who knew and loved Jackie Robinson for over 40 years. Al Campanis has
What just happened? Did I just fuck this up?
Reporter from WRC-TV was asking questions about Martin Luther King's birthday and the progress blacks have made in society. There, CBS sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder gave his impressions of blacks in coaching in the National.
This guy would have got fired just for that statement. The blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And the progress blacks have made in society.
I didn't say the blacks.
There, CBS sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder gave his impressions of blacks in coaching in the National Football League. His answers could raise as much controversy as the statements by former Dodgers executive Al Campanis last April on ABC's Nightline news program.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to have to equalize it for the blacks, for the Greeks, the Jews, and for everybody. I mean, let's make it equal for everybody, you know.
And is it equal? What about in sports?
Well, they've got everything. If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people.
We're white people. Poor white people.
At what point did they put the 7-second delay into effect when that was shit?
You know, they knew what they had. They ran it back.
For coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them.
It's the truth. You go look at the NFL and see.
But he said something on. He said something live.
This maybe it was live.
No. What on a football on a football broadcast?
He did.
He was saying something where basically he was talking about slavery, and the slave masters would take.
It's here. It's in this.
Oh, okay.
It's in this. Hang on, let me get to it.
The black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. But, you know, the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs.
Yeah, maybe we need to get more black coaches, don't you?
Oh, it's all right with me.
Okay, well,
I'm sure that they'll take over that pretty soon, too.
Oh, they didn't. But he did say that. He said that the white slave owner used to
Get the biggest guy and the biggest woman, and
breed them.
And and then whoever the co-host was at the time immediately, he said, "Who did he work for? CBS?
He was CBS, yeah."
And he came on and he said something to the effect with CBS Broadcasting and myself, we do not agree with these. And he was gone after that, and rightfully so. I mean, you can't go saying shit like that. It's terrible. So
you're saying that the white slave owners did not breed the biggest, blackest person with
it's not the matter of whether they did or they didn't.
You just can't talk about it.
Don't go and put that out there. Because you got a lot of people like Daniel Carver, the old KKK guy from the Howard Stern show. They're just waiting for stuff like that to like prey upon.
If it's true, why can't you say it? If it's a fact, why can't you say it? I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. We're a society of people that have a fucking brain. You think that we can't?
Because people tuned in to watch football. They didn't want a history lesson.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. That part I'll give you.
That's why.
But he's not wrong. Damn it. He's not wrong. This cracks me up.
He had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum
Whoops. That was it. You could see the blood running.
I didn't
out.
even hear about that, which is weird because usually anything like that hits the news, and that one got by me.
This is what I love about you. You come in here once a month, and I fill you in on all the bullshit that you're not paying attention to.
Well, it's not important to me.
It's not. I understand. It's fine.
What did you do on the 4th anyway, since you don't like this?
I worked. I worked on the 4th because I had shows come in on the 4th, and if I didn't do them on the 4th, then I would have had a piled up bunch of work on Thursday and Friday. I didn't feel like doing it, so I just worked. I just came down. It was just another day. Nobody was doing anything. It was hot as balls and humid, and I was like, ugh, I'm not going out anywhere.
Yeah, we just we had our neighbors over, Diane and I, and we just, hey, if you're not doing anything, you come over for cocktails. And
there you go.
We just sat there drinking cocktails, and then the fireworks display starts because now in New Jersey you're allowed to have fireworks again.
Tell me about it.
Everybody was lighting them all off. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm over here. It sounded like fucking France. Dude, it was unbelievable. I mean,
there was people yelling
Allah Akbar.
Allah Akbar.
And there was explosions. Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Jesus. No, it was great. It was like, like I said, it was like a nice, simple, relaxing 4th of July. It was great. Yeah, I loved it. And then it was like, it was like, and then it was, I was off this year, which was nice. Because in my job, we don't get off holidays.
Right.
If a holiday falls on your day that's you're scheduled to work, you're working.
Right.
So it's just the way it is, the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so funny, especially in the summertime, all the summer holidays, all I did was work through them because most of the mechanics, they would go down the shore, they would go out or something like that. And then the next, nobody would take calls. So they would call Jamingo, he'll go.
So you make bank.
Oh, yeah, because you got paid 8 hours double time.
Mm-hmm.
And then every call you took was double time. So if you worked 8 hours, so that was like 16 hours times 2 was 32 hours. And there was many a 4th of July that I would work 12 to 13 hours.
Suddenly at where I work, they got their shit together because we have a new CBA.
Contract
benefits.
Okay.
That's I belong to a union and everything, and there's 5 other unions in the company that I work for. And every year we would go to the table and we would ask for stuff, and they would just say, well, nobody else gets that. And we're like, oh, okay, And then we would go back again. Yeah, nobody else gets that. So thank Christ we got this guy. He got the CBA agreement to every other union. And we got everything that these guys have been getting for like decades.
No shit, they were lying to you.
Oh yeah. They weren't lying to us. It was just what we didn't know what to ask for.
Okay.
But then we got the other CBAs from the other unions, and then they knew what to ask for. So now, for example, make a long story short, if I was off my team was scheduled off for the 4th of July. If I worked that day, it would have been the equivalent of 46 hours of straight time.
Yeah.
It was just like, and now all of a sudden they've got overtime in control because it's like, fuck, we don't want to pay these assholes that.
Exactly.
Fuck those guys.
So now they actually have to schedule.
Well, now they have to now they're like, all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So we're happy with this CBA that we got. It'll probably be the last one hopefully it'll be the last one I'm there for. We got a 4-year contract, but yeah, it was like ridiculous. Like, and then we were talking about this. Well, now you know why all these other assholes have houses down at the shore and houses up in the fucking Poconos, because that's why. We were getting dick.
Dick and bubblegum. They were all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, so just like they were force feeding the dick. So it was like crazy.
I know a bunch of, I'm going to change the subject right now. I know a bunch of U.S. women gymnasts that are doing backflips right now. You know why?
Oh, Nasser got beat up.
He got stabbed.
Yeah.
He got beat up and stabbed.
They lumped him up.
Yeah. He got stabbed multiple times in federal prison where he's serving hundreds of years for sexually assaulting gymnasts, including gold medal winners. Well, if you're going to assault girls, you might as well get the best of the best, right? He's 59. He was stabbed twice in the neck, twice in the back, and 6 times in the chest. And he lived.
Yeah, he's resilient.
I got to tell you.
They must have got to him pretty fast, I guess.
They say he's lucky to be alive. The only reason he's alive is because staff members who were there. The Bureau of Prisons confirmed that the inmate was assaulted in a prison after 2:30 p.m. Sunday, but declined to identify him over privacy and security concerns. So this guy's getting his comeuppance because this fucking monster was... he was diddling these fucking little girls and for years, and nobody would pay attention to it.
And the FBI buried it.
And the FBI fucking buried it.
But they did apologize to that one gym. They're like, oh, we're sorry. Yeah.
We're sorry?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that when that happened?
Of course. I know, but it's just like, you're sorry that you didn't do your fucking job? Like, in other words, if I'm sitting there and I get
they're sorry they got caught.
Yeah, that's what they're sorry about. Yeah. If I'm an FBI agent and someone's telling me that the doctor for the girls' gymnastics team is sexually assaulting them, I'm on it until I can put this monster behind fucking bars. I'm not burying it. I'm not doing. I want to get this guy. I want to get him off the streets, and I want to get him in jail where he belongs. Not this government. Not this shit. So, I want to switch up topics right now.
Changing the subject.
The topics. Where is that? Do I have that in here somewhere? I have it somewhere here. Where is
the old Jessica fight?
Yeah.
Changing the subject now.
There's that movie that just came out. It's about the one agent that went down into Colombia and freed a bunch of child sex slaves. What's the name of the fucking movie? God damn it.
You should be more prepared.
I should. I wish I had a memory because it's not that hard to remember what the fuck name of the movie is. Hang on. Somebody, I'm going to look at the chat. It's not Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
What the fucking name is that movie?
Who the fuck said that?
Duchess. Sounds of Freedom. Thank you, Gordon. Sounds of Freedom.
Oh, the libs are shitting all over that.
Yeah. Why? The guy went down there and exposed a child sex ring. So, in other words, they're kidnapping kids. 6 to 8 million children go missing in the United States. They never find them. They found this place where they were being sexually abused until they couldn't be sexually abused anymore. They were too old or whatever. And then they would harvest their fucking organs and sell them on the black market. All right. And this is going on. And nobody's looking into this and nobody says anything. And they make this movie. Disney had this movie since 2019. They would make it. Right now, it's doing better than Indiana Jones. It's fucking mushmouth motherfucker. Fat lazy.
That movie fucking tanked. Everything that Disney puts out is tanking lately. Everyone woke up.
The population is done being preached to.
How about Ben and Jerry's?
I was going to go into that.
Boy, it couldn't happen to a better bunch of jerk-offs. So, ever since the Oreo cookie debacle back in the 90s, they deserve that.
So right now, you got people on the conservative side and a lot of people on TikTok saying, what's going on about this Sounds of Freedom movie that nobody's talking about it. They're burying it in the press. And it's supposed to be a fantastic movie. I can't watch it. I wouldn't be able to watch it because it'd break my heart. It would break my heart to see what was going on down there. I mean, I would love to see, I want to take out the abuse and everything and just watch them.
And watch a 5-minute movie?
Yeah, just watch them, find them, and then beat the shit out of them and kill them. That's what I want to see. I don't want to watch the kids, and I don't want to see any of that. I really don't. I mean, it's heartbreaking. And of course, they say, oh, well, yeah, you big sissy. You're part of the problem because you don't want to. No, I want to pay attention to why are not. Let's try this again. Take 2. Why aren't the law enforcement agencies into that? Why aren't they taking care of this? Why aren't they trying to put a sting in on this? I mean, with all the cameras, everything that we have in this country now, the ring cameras, the street light cameras and all that, we can't find these people that are stealing kids?
Yeah, look at that poor kid, Adam Walsh. I mean, he was They never found his head, I think.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. You know who Adam
Yeah, he was his father ended up being America's Most Wanted.
Yeah,
he's
the host.
He was the
John
host.
Walsh.
John Walsh, yeah.
And, I mean, I think he was only out of their sight for like a minute. That's how fast it happened. From last I had heard, they think they know who did it, but there's no conclusive proof. But he was only out of his parents' sight for like a minute. Was it an airport or a train station or something?
Dude, it's all it takes.
You know, it was just like, it's scary.
I'll never forget, I was in the Berlin Mart. You know what the Berlin Mart's like. It's just
feel like a stranger in your own country?
Yeah. All right. So
English optional?
So I'm there, and I have my firstborn, Christina. She's with me. She's about 4 years old. We go into a store. We're walking around. It's just me and her. I don't even know. I can't remember why I was there. And I turn around, and she's gone. And I can't find her. I call her name, and she's not saying anything. The panic that comes over you at that point, you're like, Jesus Christ, where is she? Oh, my God, where is she? And you're like, and so I said, hey, I'm missing my daughter here. She's blonde hair. She's wearing a brown jacket. I just scream it in the store. Help me find her. So everybody in the store starts, kind of looking. Everybody guard the exits. They're all looking. So I'm looking around. I'm yelling, Christina, I'm looking in. I go over, there's a closet. I open up the door, and she's in there. She's playing hide and seek. Mm-hmm. I wanted to kiss her and whoop her ass at the same fucking time. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child like that. I can't. It's got to break you. It has to break you. You can't ever get over something like that. You can't, especially like these kids that whoever the agent was, I can't think of his name now, it's based on a true story. He went down there by himself and freed a bunch of kids. I can't imagine what the parents feel like. And these kids are broken. Like they've been sexually molested at such a young age. And now we have these pride parades, and they're trying to sexualize children at a young age. I'm sorry, dude.
Well, even before the pride parades and all that stuff, it's like people always used to say like stupid shit like prostitution is a harmless, it's a victimless crime and all this shit. But they never look at the other side of the coin. Was because of prostitution, people were going out and grabbing young kids and forcing them into it, because they make it sound like, oh, everyone's Julia Roberts and
Pretty Woman
in that fucking Pretty Woman movie, and that's what they want to do. La 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 la. Nah, not so much. It's a pretty scurvy underbelly.
Right. So I see I see both sides of it. There's some women out there that want to sell sex for money.
They're called whores.
There's some whores out there that want to sell their bodies for money. And if the guy wants to do it and the girl wants to do it and there's no pimp involved and she's not being forced, I don't see a problem with it. I do understand what you're saying.
But that's not what happens, because when you that's the thing when people say, well, it's your decision, it's your body, your choice, and all that. Says, well, yeah, now there's people out there that see that, and they're most of them are like the cartels, as we know, and they go out and they're doing this stuff.
Right.
What John, a prostitution customer, what John is going to say, okay, are you doing this of your own free will, or have you been compelled to do this? And they just want their ashes hauled.
No, I get that. I mean, okay, so when I used to work down Atlantic City, you go down there on a Saturday night, and I'd be pulling out of a casino at like 2:00 in the morning. 2:30.
He said, pull out.
Yeah. So you'd be leaving Atlantic City at 2:30 in the morning, and there'd be all these hookers out there on the street walking and waving and all, because they're trying to get their last couple Johns before they get picked up or whatever, and maybe they make enough money. I don't know. Flip it around. I was working at the Harrah's, and inside they had all the high-priced call girls that would be at 6:30 in the morning. They'd all be lined up at this was in the 80s, kids. They didn't have cell phones. Mm-hmm. They would be all lined up at the payphone calling their rides to get picked up.
Right.
Because they've been working, the bars and everything all night. Now, they're all dressed to the nines, makeup.
But they still had a service or a pimp.
I guess.
They had a madam or a pimp to settle that shit
again,
up.
I
Like
don't
the
know.
Mayflower madam, that was a big deal back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Remember, what was her name? Beale?
I keep wanting to say Flowers, but I know that's not it. Flowers is the one.
Jennifer Flowers was Bill Clinton's baby.
Yeah, he was the one that Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it was like the Mayflower madam. And, she... she could trace her lineage back to the Mayflower.
We need a producer here that when we say stuff, we just say, go Google that.
Yeah, it's more funny when we're in our, yeah. Because then when we listen back and then like the name comes, that's the bitch's name. You know, it's like,
yeah. I go back to the law enforcement has to do more. Now they're making law enforcement like I was talking to a couple on Rubberneckers. We had a guy on there, Jake, who was part of a fart mouth podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm all part of the ACAB. You know, all cops are bastards." And I'm like, "Yeah, until you fucking need one, until you're being robbed, or someone's breaking in your home or something. Then all of a sudden you're on the phone 911 trying to call somebody, and then all of a sudden they're your best friends."
I think I brought it up. I'm sure I did on this podcast, but there's 850,000 cops in the country, and I thought there was more than that. You know, a country of 320 million legal people, I thought there would at least be a few million cops, but there's not. There's only 850,000. So if you just broke it down by the numbers, if let's say 1% of the cops are bad, which I think is a way higher number than it actually is, well, that's 8,500 cops.
That's a lot of cops.
Well, that's why I doubt it's like that much. You know, it's like I think there should be more cops, and you know.
Well, I always said that the only people that can fix the police brutality problem is the police. In other words, you know what it's like. They're in a union. They have a code.
Well, define the brutality. I mean, how many cases that what you're hearing mostly when it's against cops, it's they should be trained better. You know, and they need to do this. They're operating. Yeah, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback after you see the video that somebody shot from 100 feet away, and then they edited it and they released it. Then 9 times out of 10, they released a body cam video of these cops, and it's like, oh, well, that's not what I saw in the other video. Yeah, because why is that? A lot of that shit's by design.
I'm not talking about that. I just saw a video the other day, and it says cop shooting. And I'm just going to go through what I saw because I can't bring it up here. So what happens, the cops come in and they go, put your hands up, put your hand there. There's 4 fucking cops screaming at the guy.
Let me just ask you this. Where's the video from? Is it from body cam or is it from some stranger?
It's body cams. It's a compilation of this happening different times. So cops rush in, hands, keep your hands up. All right, get on the ground. Now, everybody's yelling at the same time. Not one person has the scene and is doing commands. They're all screaming at this guy. So he's an older guy, maybe in his 50s. He puts his hands down because he wants to get down on the ground. How are you supposed to get on the ground? Are you supposed to just put your arms together like a flounder and just flop to the ground? You can't. You've got to put your hands out, and you got to be able to, you know, especially if you're old. Like if someone came in here and said, get your hands up, get on the ground, I can't get on the ground right now. There's no way I can get on the ground.
Well, the instruction should have been get on your knees.
I can't even get on my knees. My knees are shot. So if they come in here, I just got to put my hands up and say, first of all, stop screaming. Stop screaming. Stop screaming. My arms are up. I can't. You're not in any danger for me. Somebody talk to me. Tell me what you want to do. I can't get on the ground right now. But they don't do that. They start yelling, and the guy's trying to comply, and they fucking shoot him. Not once, not twice. Like they shoot him like 10 fucking times.
Well, yeah.
Where's that? I got to bring this video up. I had it on the. We talked about it on the Boomer Bunker, and I think we talked about it on Rubberneckers.
And lucky you get to talk about it again.
It's hard for you not to see it. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have the video. I just don't know where it's at. Let's see. It's probably in Rubberneckers. Which one would it be? It's the one with... Thank you. I appreciate that. Is it this one? No.
Pencils down, contestant.
You know how hard it is to try to do this while that's going on? It's ridiculous.
A little added extra pressure.
Yeah. You know how hard that is?
That's even more pressure.
Here we go. I know. Let me go back. Let me try to find it from YouTube.
I'm going to make it another old-fashioned. You want one?
Sure, go ahead. And shot.
While you shop around on the internet.
Jesus Christ, there's more videos than I ever thought was going to be here for this. All right, I got it ready for you, Deuce, when you get back. Deuce is pulling out his baggies. Hope you don't leave any cocaine behind.
No, Hunter Biden won't be here.
Yeah, our friend, the worst press secretary in the history of press secretaries.
Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
Equity hire?
Yeah, the equity hire. She's there, and someone asked about the cocaine. Do we know if the cocaine was from the Biden family?
I answered this.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just said a word salad, and we're all supposed to go away. So, Deuce, let me ask you a question. If I asked you, was that cocaine from your family? What would be the answer?
No.
Exactly. The answer would be no. But the fact that the answer is that you find the question disgusting, and you can't say no. So if you can't say no, the answer is yes. Si, senor. It must be the Biden's family's cocaine. Boy, I tell you, she is so dumb. But the problem is they can't get rid of her because no one wants that fucking job. Who wants to go in there and get beat up like that every fucking day? Because they have no answers. Biden is just a crumpled bag of fucking Frito chips right now. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even know where he's going.
I can't wait till you see that video of him in England. It's the best.
I'm going to look it up right now since I got a little bit of time on my hands.
Oh, he's like the Flying Dutchman. He doesn't know where the fuck he's going. It's wherever the wind takes him.
Biden in UK.
Just the look on his face of bewilderment is priceless.
You know what else was funny was Donald Trump meets Joe Rogan at the MMA fight. Joe Rogan's announcing it. They had the most weirdest aggressive handshake because Trump always grabs your hand, shakes it, and tries to pull you towards him.
Right.
And I think Joe Rogan was ready for it, and it was like a fucking tug of war. They're shaking and pulling and pushing and back and forth.
Oh, two alpha males.
Yeah, two alpha males shaking hands. I was like, holy shit, I thought Rogan was going to put him in a fucking headlock and take him the fuck down.
Ding, ding.
Devin says Trump's very aggressive with his handshakes. Also, those fights for the most part were pretty good. Okay. Yeah, if Kamala wasn't the vice president, they would have had him out of office, right? They're setting him up to get rid of him now.
They're stuck with her.
Uh-huh. Great, Joe. Another diversity hire. You know, if... You okay over there? Yeah. Oh, stop it. Will you stop it? It's no big deal. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the tinkle of the ice cubes on that glass. Oh, that's so good. You okay over there? Do you need?
And I'm back.
All right, we're back. Deuce had to go make a couple more old fashions. So while we were there, he was talking about the Joe Biden.
The bewildered Joe Biden in the UK.
So let's see what I got. I pulled up a video. This is from MSNBC this morning.
So moments ago, President Biden arrived at 10 Downing Street in London, where he was met at the door by United Kingdom Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. President Biden is holding meetings in the morning with the PM ahead of a trip to Windsor Castle this afternoon. While there, he will meet with the newly crowned King Charles for the first time since he ascended the throne. This afternoon, the two will participate in a climate engagement at the castle before President Biden leaves for the NATO summit beginning tomorrow in Lithuania.
Again, I got to go back to this climate change thing is the biggest fucking hoax. And this is what they're using. They're using this climate change to do all the fucking dirty work that they're actually trying to do that they couldn't say they're trying to do because the people would revolt in the streets. Mm-hmm. Like what they're doing in France right now.
Like in Davos.
And Germany. I think I heard this on No Agenda the other day.
Now, just to let you, the videos that I saw before I came here was Biden arriving at Windsor Castle.
Okay, so
with Prince Charles, and there's like all the red coats, the beef eaters, the red coats, the big high hats, and everything, real, and he's just like,
you guys have hats, and I always love you guys,
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. She did. Anyhow, hey King Charles, Prince.
Hey King. Sorry
about your first wife. Jesus. Shut up, Joe. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like all the pomp and circumstances. It's like it.
So there was a gentleman that was on the No Agenda show, and he was sitting there, and he was talking about what is going on now in the world. And he says the United States is behind all this shit that's going on in France. They want Macron out of France. They want the leader out of Germany out of Germany. They want all these people out of there, and they're going to use Poland to, like, Poland's going to be their...
who was saying this?
I don't know who the guy was, but I was listening to
It's just basically what it always is. It's just crazy law-breaking Muslims.
Well, you know how I sit there, like, so he told the story, and I'm like, who was China and Russia talking to? France. Didn't France just say, fuck you, we're not going to, we're not going to do anything different?
Well, you know how this all started there, right? In France.
Yeah, they decided to not up the retirement age, or they tried to.
No. That's not what's the riots and everything.
Oh, they killed George Floyd.
They killed a drug-running Muslim, in a stolen car, and a cop jumped on the hood, and he drove away. So the cop neutralized the threat, and then, voila.
Yeah, here we are.
The French would say.
It's another George. So the
last time this happened was about 10 years ago, and France burned for a month and a half. If it was an extended period of time. So this is why you don't have open borders. This is one of the reasons why Britain pulled out of the European Union, because they wanted control of. Because if you were part of the European Union, anybody could just come and go as they please,
right?
And you had no idea who was in your country. And, there was a lot of other reasons why why England wanted out, but that was chief among them, because they would just hop on the Channel from France, and they had to let these people in,
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was down.
Where's my scotch?
Yeah. No.
Oh, wrong Kennedy.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Not Teddy.
No. I'm still dead.
Mary Jo Kopechne.
I met Mary Jo. She's like, why did you let me drown?
Yeah. Oh, she didn't drown. She suffocated.
Same thing.
No, because she was still alive in the car. She was trapped in an air pocket, and then she exhausted all the oxygen. She suffocated. Had she drowned, her lungs would be full of water, and they were not.
Oh, pitter patter, you with your fucking facts, Deuce. So she
hate history.
So she says, why did you let me suffocate in that car? I said, because you didn't know how to go on the pill, you crazy bitch, and you got pregnant. What am I supposed to do, have a bastard child?
Did you ever see that movie?
Yes. What movie? That movie.
Yeah, about Teddy Kennedy.
No.
It was really, really well done. And the name of it escapes me. You could probably Google it faster than I can. But they didn't do any slant, no political slant. They just laid it out. And basically, he got lucky because Mary Jo Kopechne died when man walked on the moon. So everything
it all shut down.
In the news got buried. So, and then Joe Kennedy spent his last dime keeping his son out of prison, and then he died shortly thereafter. That was like the massive fuck up. It's hard to believe he thought he could actually run for president in 1980.
Chappaquiddick was the name of the movie. It came out in 2017.
It's a great. I have it on DVD. I'll lend it. I don't know if you have physical media devices yet, because you're so hot, hip, and happening. Why would you need a DVD player? Why?
Why would I even do that?
My dad once said to me, tragedy has a way of defining people. Cripples some people till they curl up into a ball.
There's a car underneath water. The light's still on.
It was an Oldsmobile.
Her fucking hands, are up against the window. She takes her last fucking breath. Let me.
Oh my God, what have I done?
Well, Mr. Kennedy?
Mr. Kennedy, sir. Dad? See, you're still the man with all the influence.
What the hell happened, Teddy?
It was an accident. I was driving.
A story like this could dominate the headlines for weeks.
Chief, we got a body.
dead body holds a lot of secrets. Those can be the difference between guilt and innocence. So we need to be in control of them.
There's not a lot of senators that are charged with manslaughter that go on to become president.
What do we do to help the senator?
We tell the truth. Or at least our version of it.
You've been diagnosed with a concussion.
I haven't examined the patient yet.
These theatrics are not going to hold up in a court of law.
Get the hell with you guys!
I'm not going to be the one defined by my flaws.
If her family doesn't blame you, why should America?
I want to be a great man. I just don't know who I am. This family perseveres. We have a true compass and we follow it.
5, 4, 3.
Moses had a temper. Peter betrayed Jesus. I have Chappaquiddick.
Moses had a temper, but he never left a girl at the bottom of the Red Sea.
Jesus Christ.
It basically, what goes on in the movie, without giving anything, well, everyone knows how it ends. It happens in 1969. Robert Kennedy, the elder, was assassinated in 1968, running for president. He was doing an exploratory committee to run for president in 1972. So that's where so you know what he wanted to run for president. And then, of course, he kills Mary Jo. And it was just dumb luck between the Kennedy's money and, like I said, where the press was dominated with with America landing on the moon and walking on the moon. It all just it just fell away from the public consciousness. And back then, think how easy that would have been, because they truly were the gatekeepers of the news. You had 3 networks. They only came on at like 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night.
That was it.
And whatever the newspapers printed, that's all you got. So it was real easy to kind of pull the wool over people's eyes back then.
Like the good old days, like back when we used to be able to control everything. Well, if you weren't out with that hoa, you wouldn't have had this problem. Shut up.
Error,
Joni, shut up. You drunken whore.
Stop saying error. Error. That's how I talk.
Error. I made an error.
Where's my scotch?
I told you to go get some Chevys.
He's part of the problem why we have the immigration issue that we have nowadays from his immigration package of 1965. It's like, fun fact. So he changed the laws to favor the Democrats.
Well, Robert Kennedy Jr. was just down at the border, and he's holding his camera up, and he's like, "See, the problem is that over here, there's 6 million.
When you see him, don't you think of like Katharine Hepburn on Golden Pond? Well, it's quite simple, Norman. You just reach down and you pick the strawberries.
They're coming in. They're coming over the border like fucking cock. I mean, there's a problem down here at the border.
It's like Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Yeah, I got my testosterone therapy. I get a shot in my ass every time. You think maybe it would make my voice not sound like some fucking old lady. But
yeah, what is it with that accent? That extreme New England accent, like from like the Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Yeah.
What is it about that? It makes your voice quaver like you're like you're yelling through a room fan. Remember when we were kids, you would like yell through the fan, like, yeah. Get that vibrato. What is that?
I don't know, but you see this real hot chick and you see her and all of a sudden you say, wow, how you doing? Oh, how you doing? I was like, oh, fuck. She went from a 9 to like a 3.
Katharine Hepburn didn't sound like that when she was younger.
Fuck me, daddy. Fuck me, daddy.
Spencer Tracy with their arranged, their mythological romance that they had.
Well, back then you weren't allowed to be gay, so you had to have a beard.
Yeah. Well, they were each their other's beard.
Yeah, so then, one was
Although
out.
I think they would procreate occasionally. Didn't Spencer and Tracy have kids?
Yeah, of course.
Rock Hudson got married. Liberace.
I'll hold my... Well, Liberace, I just haven't found the right woman yet.
You know what killed him, right?
Cock in the ass. What?
Bad meat in the can.
Bad meat in the can.
See, you had it. It was there.
I'm slowing down, Deuce. Motherfucker.
Well, think about it. Like, we're so far removed from Liberace now. I mean, nobody under the age of 30 really knows who Liberace was.
He was gay. He was the gay Elton John before Elton John is who he was. He used to have a candelabra on his piano.
Oh, but he was talented, though. That guy could play fucking piano.
Oh, yeah, he could tickle your ivories for sure.
Let me tickle your ivories. Wait, why are you putting those latex gloves on? No reason.
The gay guys.
Worry about it.
The gay guys that you knew were gay, that you just like, oh, he's gay. What the fuck? You didn't even care. Was Paul Lynde, because he was one funny motherfucker. Liberace. Nobody knew about
Rock Hudson was a blast.
Yeah, Rock Hudson.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, like every woman, like the panties would just fall off of them when they saw a Rock Hudson movie.
Oh my God! You mean he's a dick sucking pillow biter? Get the fuck out of here! What a waste. Can that be the title of the episode? Dick sucking pillow biter.
I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think it's going to make it on.
Nah, generally they tend to frown on such graphic displays. What they don't
One more
want.
fucking old fashioned is going to be the title. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but that accent, it's just like, people complain about other accents, like a Southern accent, or like, I think there's nothing more ingratiating than that extreme New England, Maine, Vermont, that accent, just because I can get by with y'all, like, hey, y'all.
Even a Brooklyn
I can
accent.
get by with that. I just like, but I get that New England accent. It's grating to my ear.
I know the New York accent. Sometimes you could put a New York accent on a good looking woman, and it's not that bad.
Which New York accent do you mean? Do you mean the Long Island New York accent or the New York City accent?
You're Brooklyn.
Yeah. Okay. So the 5 boroughs.
Yeah. That kind of
like
accent.
bra becomes brawl.
Yeah.
BRAW, brawl. So I took off my brawl,
and my tits fell out.
The New England, the Long Island accent that is close to the Boston accent, where R becomes H. Like pack the car.
I parked the car over at Harvard's garage.
My boss from my last job, he was from Long Island, and we used to break each other's balls, and it came up to like accents. And say what you want about a Philadelphia accent, which you and I have a derivative of,
sure,
being so close.
Mm-hmm.
But Philadelphia is the only northeastern city that has mastered the letter R. R is like a tiger. It's not H. It's not like pack the cat. And the weird thing with Boston and New York and that Long Island accent is if the letter R is the first letter in the word, they've got it down.
Right.
It's okay? But if there's another R in the word, it becomes H. So, for example, the name Robert becomes Rabbit. It's like, how did you fucking lose it in 4 letters? It's like, how did you fucking...
Well, you say that about the Philadelphia accent, but we can't say the A. Like, in other words, it's not water, it's wooder.
Wooder.
Well,
that's definitely a thing. But at least, because when you think about it, like Boston, New York, and New England states, R becomes H. It's like Philadelphia became like the last stand. It's like, this is it. It's going to be her. So me and my boss, like I said, we were like breaking each other's balls. I was like, yeah, I can say what you want, but at least I can pretend I'm a tiger with my grandchildren. I can go, I can chase them around the room. You're going to go around going, ah. It doesn't really have the same thing, What the fuck is that? Are you choking to death? Who the fuck's is
I just sat on a Lego.
No, it's like a tiger. You're gonna rip your throat out with That's how tigers are.
Who left their Rubik's Cube on my seat? I just sat on it.
Did I ever tell you the Mary story?
No.
The Mary, okay, my last job, and I had to go to this chain headquarters for tobacco stores. They had a series of tobacco stores from the New York border down to the Maryland border, say. It was in the central part of Pennsylvania. And at the time, they went through an area code change. So they added a new area code. Which was happening back in the day. Like New Jersey, we went from having just 2 to like, I think we have 6 or 7 now.
Dude, I remember when we went to 856.
Yeah,
everybody was 609.
There's 732. There's 973.
What? When did this happen?
There's a shitload of Jersey area codes now.
Well, yeah, that's because of the cell phones. But go ahead.
Exactly. Well, that was it. Fax machines mostly.
I forgot about the fax machines.
It was the fax machines mostly. It was before cell phones became affordable. So I go to the chain headquarters. They give me a master store list, and they say, when you get there, these numbers may not be accurate because we had an area code change.
Okay.
So you have to go and do that. So,
right.
Okay, great. So I'm in the middle of bumfuck Pennsylvania. I couldn't even tell you what town I was in. It's so long ago. So I'm talking to the manager. It turns out to be the manager. And I say, hi, I introduce myself. I'm Deuce. I'm from that Sherman Tobacco, blah, 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 blah. And is this store number 17? Yes, it is. Is your phone number? And I give the number. Oh, no, it's different now. Oh, you're one of the area code changes. Yes, it is. What's the area code? Punch it in. And then on my computer, it has the store manager's name. I says, oh, so are you Mary? I beg your pardon? Are you Mary? Well, I don't think you need to really know that information. Well, I don't understand. I'm just trying to keep my records straight here. I says, I just need to know, like, are you Mary? You know, I absolutely am offended that you're even asking me this question. Now, bear in mind, this woman is like, she's like in her 60s, easily, you know, and at the time, I'm like 38. I mean, my wife is 10 years older than me. That's about my limit. I'm not going beyond that window. She finally stops and says, oh, do you mean is my name Mary? I said, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Oh, I thought you were asking if I married. So apparently the dialect or the accent in that part of Pennsylvania, the word marry and married is exactly the same. She thought I was asking if she was married.
Married? Yes, married. Married?
So then we both found it hysterical because it was really like but it was really tense for like that 2 minutes. It's like, I don't understand why you won't tell me. I'm thinking, I don't understand why you won't tell me your fucking name.
She's like, I don't understand.
And she's probably thinking, why does this fucking young guy want to know if I'm married or not? So after I got out of that store, I called up my mother and I told her, and she would just let it, because we would always, you know, my mom fractured the English language. And hey, Mom, this is a good one for you. This is right up our our alley here, because my mom, she could spell. She was a spelling bee championship, but she was like you. She would fracture the English language on pronunciation.
It's getting worse, dude. Sometimes like I'm thinking what I'm going to say, and then something comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, where did that come from? How did that come out of my mouth? I wasn't thinking that.
Genghis was the opposite. He could speak well, but he couldn't spell to save his life.
I can't spell.
Well, to save till this day, me and Joe, he wrote an instruction.
Oh boy,
thing on a poster board on how to close the store, and he had a burglar alarm. And one of the things he put on there was like set ALRAM. So he spelled alarm, ALRAM, you know, so we just left it there. We never fucking told him, but we would just like say it that way. Like, yeah, don't forget to set that ALRAM. Like, you guys think you're so funny. Because Genghis wasn't stupid. He realized what we were doing, but he would never change the fucking poster. It sat there for years, set ALRAM.
Dude, they say to you, why do you have this Alexa here? Because, it just sits there and listens to your conversation, and then you can do it. I said, the reason I do it is because it's my spell checker. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, all I say is, how do you spell this and how do you spell that? And turn on the fan. And, that's...
Your number one fan?
Yeah, my number one fan. Alexa, turn on the fan.
Okay.
There it is. Alexa, turn off the fan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you call your number one fan and she'll acknowledge that? Or
Alexa, are you my number one fan?
That didn't go the way you had hoped, did it?
You cunt.
Evidently, she's Deuce's number one fan.
Alexa, who do you like more, Deuce or me?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, I figured not.
Yeah. She's just trying to save your feelings from getting hurt.
That's right.
She actually likes Bob better than you.
Alexa.
Bob is awesome.
I love the way he can't get words out.
That's the title of the song of the Bob is awesome.
Bob is awesome. I'll write it down. Where's my fucking pen? Here it is.
I love Bob. Why am I doing Shatner as Alexa? Spock.
Alexa, how do you spell awesome?
AWESOME.
WESOME.
Thank you. All right.
You could have just asked Deuce.
You're not here all the time. What am I supposed to do? Call you?
Text me.
If I can text you a word, how would I not? I would need you to tell me how to spell it. Come on.
Oh, it's been like a busy month for us. Since the last time we did the podcast, but we had the big party for Wise.
Okay.
So that was like a big blast. Yeah, we had like 50 people there. We had it catered. I had a bartender there. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't doing shit, man." We were just like we had family over and 50 people, and so people were like coming over. It's funny, like the place that Diane used, she said, "Well, they'll provide a bartender. Hold the phone. I know a bartender." And says, I'll ask if she does private parties. So this is back in February. And I go over to where she works and say, hey, do you do private parties? Yeah, I do. Good, you're hired. And she's like, well, wait, I need you for June 10th. I said, oh, okay. Like she thought it was going to be like next week or something like that. No problem. So it's funny. We had everything set up. We had a full bar that would knock a camel over. Just so much alcohol. And she was doing daiquiris, she was doing pina coladas and all that stuff. So people are arriving and they see the bartender there. And she was there with her daughter. She was helping out. And I go up and says, how's everything going? Oh, everything's fine. I says, nobody's come up to get anything yet. I says, give me a pina colada. Really? You always drink beer. Yeah, but give me a pina colada. I says, because I'm going to get a pina colada and I'm going to walk around and say hello to everybody. And they're going to see that pina colada, and they're going to, like, come here. Sure as shit. I mean, you could not get to the bar. It was, like, so many people there, like, drinking daiquiris and pina coladas and everything. It was a great time. So that was going on real. We totally skunked my son and my daughter-in-law. They had no idea it was going to be.
Oh, it was a surprise?
Well, they knew we were having a party.
Right.
But they had no idea of the size and scope of this party, that it was going to be catered, and we had a bartender, and I bought 2 giant tents and put them up in there because the sun is my enemy. So I assume that the sun is everybody's enemy. Nobody wants to sit in the sun.
And it was a great day, too, weather-wise.
It was the best of day because the next day it got about 15 degrees hotter, and it was so humid. So we really, it was really like a spring day with the humidity. It was really, really great. We had a great time. So, and then we had the 4th of July. And then before that, I lost my car, as you alluded to.
Well, so tell me the story about the car. So what happened? Because
on June 27th, we got a rain. It was Tuesday. And, it's hot and humid. You're going to get rain.
Deuce Gump. Go ahead.
So it was like all of a sudden, like we hear like reports over the intercoms and over the radios. Hey, we got heavy storms coming. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. Long story short, this storm came up and it stalled right over where I work. 8 inches of rain fell in 2.5 hours. That's like a hurricane event. The storm just didn't move off. And because it stalled over where I work, it just picked up all moisture off the Delaware River and just dumped it onto the plant. So the parking lot got hip deep.
Hip deep?
Yeah. See the pictures I sent you of my car?
Yeah, because it was only up to the wheels.
Yeah. Well, it was above the door sill, so that means I got water. And I thought I got lucky, but I was tragically mistaken. But I took water in. So they totaled my car. Fucking totaled it. So, Geico showed up and I told them, well, I had this, event, and the adjuster said, stop. You're the 5th person that I'm taking care of on this. She says, I can make this disappear. How attached are you to this car? Because some people love their cars. I said, I'm not that attached to this car.
It's transportation.
Because it stunk. It's, because the water in the Delaware is that brackish water.
Yeah.
And it just stunk.
It smells like sewer water.
Oh, that was in the water also.
Yeah.
Because here we found out the incompetent boobs, some asshole that will not lose his job, he tagged out the oil and water separator. And what the oil water separator does, it pumps, all the water gets pumped to the oil water separator. They separate it, as the name suggests, and they dump the water into the Delaware River.
Right.
That keeps the parking lot from being flooded. They tagged it out at 2:00 in the afternoon. The rain started falling at like 3:10 in the afternoon.
No shit.
And that fast, the water got hip deep. I mean, there were some cars that the wind, you didn't even, all you saw were the windshields sticking up out of the water like a shark fin.
I can't imagine holy shit.
Oh, it was terrible. Last I had heard, like 150 cars got totaled. It was crazy. It was a crazy day. I had to sit there until 10:00 in the afternoon when the rain stopped. All the water ran off the lot, and I was able to drive home because the water was like, I would have just got stuck there.
So it still started and everything.
Oh, it started right up, because I didn't do nothing with it. I just left it there and let it drain out, But I found a replacement car and another Impala. Goes, hey, me, I'm going down kicking and screaming before I drive a fucking truck. So I found.
So you got another Impala?
Well, I found a 2020 with 40,000 miles on it. So I'm moving up 3 years newer, but I'm losing 80,000 miles.
Okay.
So same look, black car, black interior.
That's great.
It's what I do. Red Corvettes, black Impalas. I don't know why. So this will be my 4th and probably final Impala. So
why is that?
Well, they stopped making them in 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's why I went with the 2020. Yeah, they're not making cars anymore. The only cars, if you look at it at the price point that I like to be at, no one's buying cars. The cars that are being sold are like $25,000 or less, or say $50,000 or more.
I'm laughing because the chat's saying Deuce is a Fed. He's driving black
cars. Exactly. You know what? I never wanted a black car in my life, but then I bought my first black Impala and got the windows tinted. And I drive by cops at 80 miles an hour, and they wave to me, and I just wave back because they think it's an unmarked car. So I was like, wow, this is great. So I had an 04 Impala, an 11 Impala, a 17 Impala, and I do the same thing, black car, and I tint all the windows except the front windows. Mm-hmm. That way you really look like a fucking cop. It's great. You drive with impunity. It's like a cloaking device. I'm hiding in plain sight.
It's so that what you were talking about, they had the same thing here. And so I remember seeing that storm just popped up and it was over where you worked and basically over Delaware too. Mm-hmm. And it just sat there.
It's for 4 hours.
It just sat. It didn't, and then it just dissipated, went away. It was weird. It was almost like it was man-made. In other words, like somebody put something there because it materialized, it sat there.
Yeah.
And it stopped. We had the same thing here a couple days ago where one little cell
stayed here.
We
heard it at my house. We didn't get any. Heard the thunder, saw the lightning, but we didn't get shit.
Pouring down rain, and it rained not as long. It didn't rain 4 hours, but then all of a sudden it just stopped, and that was it. And I was talking to my daughter, and I said, "Oh yeah, it's pouring here," and she's like, "It's not even. It's sunny here."
Like you're lying, yeah.
Yeah, it's sunny here.
And you know what the real kick in the balls is? I had just paid that car off in February. Like, oh yeah, great. I'm saving $400 a month on my household expenses now. Like, yay, the car's paid off. Nah, fuck you.
Oh, so now you have to get another car payment?
Oh yeah.
So
all the company paid for is your deductible, and the people that had only liability on their car, they got $500. That's it. So,
wow.
So now the car was paid off, and I found a car. They gave me $12,000. Well, after my deductible, they gave me $12,800 for the car, and I'm just putting $12,000 on the incoming 2020 Impala that I get, but I still got to finance like $14,000.
Jesus Christ,
yeah, so
$34,000 for a fucking Impala?
Yeah, it's like, well, no, the car is worth. Well, you got tax, you got documentation, so the car sells for $27,000.
Still $27,000.
So I'm putting $12,000 down on that. Yeah. Well, you know what? Since COVID, it fucked up all the used car prices.
Of course.
Here you go. My 17 Impala that I just lost. I bought that when it was a year old. It had 22,000 miles on it, and I paid $26,000. Now I'm buying a car that's 3 years old with 40,000 miles on it for $26,000. Because COVID fucked everything up. It overinflated the prices on shit, like used car, like trucks and specialty vehicles. I mean, there's no negotiating anymore. Like, oh, you want this truck? You'll pay sticker. Yeah, that's just the way it is now. I'm fucking crazy,
dude. I'm telling you. Just the other day I went to the supermarket to get just a rotisserie chicken. $4.99 they used to be. $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
They're $7.99 now.
Yeah.
It's almost 100%. It's 100% higher.
Wow.
And they're saying food prices are up to 11%. 11%, my ass. I don't know who the fuck does math over there. It's not 11%.
Well, think about it. You nailed maybe you're not aware of it, but you hit the nail on the head. How much did you say the price went up? Almost how much percent?
Well, it was $4.99, $5.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's $7.99, $8. So it's between $5 and $8.
Right.
So yeah, it's like 70% of it.
How much did the minimum wage go up in the last few years because they passed this law that everyone has to make $15 an hour minimum wage?
Right. And you can't even can't get people to work for $15 an hour.
Well, that's the thing. Because Jersey, I think we're now at, I don't know, $13.80, $13.90. And the next, because they raised it to $15 in stages. Well, this is exactly what happened. This is what happened all over the country. And then you couple the gasoline expense, how high gas got, and then the chain supply and all that shit. But you and I used to disagree with this back in the day. I said, when you raise the minimum wage like that, these companies aren't going to eat it.
Of course they're not.
They're going to pass it on.
Absolutely. I said this the other day. I said, why don't we just give everybody
$50 an hour?
Yeah, $50 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then your fucking cheeseburger's $25.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? Doesn't matter.
Right.
You think you're making $50? Yeah. I was just talking to somebody the other day. They were working as a manager at a car wash. 14 something an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Not even $15 an hour.
Right.
And so I was thinking to myself, when I was his age, again, I was working in a union job or something like that. I was making $30 something an hour. I mean, you had buying power back then. No one has buying power now.
Yeah.
This reminds me of 1980, basically 1978 to 1986 all over again. This is exactly what happened. And then houses, they went up. You could buy a house for $72,000, and then within a year you could sell for over $100,000. That's how property values were going up, and everything was going up. And then we had that big fucking bubble and crash in 2008, 2009. And everything shit the bed. And we just started getting back up back again. And then this shit happened.
Yeah. My son's in the middle of buying a house now, so he found a nice duplex for sale. He's coming back down. So, it's down the street from me and Diane's property. 3 bedrooms on the bottom, 2 bedrooms on the top. They're going to live in the downstairs, but it's empty. So it's turnkey. It's ready to go. So, and evidently he was listening. You try to impart advice to your kids.
Right.
And you hope for the best. But my son was listening, and I said, I wish I had become a landlord at a younger age. So he found this place. He's going to have like a $68 a month mortgage because what he can rent the top apartment for is going to cover the cost of his mortgage. And then I says, now when you move out of that house and you buy your forever home or whatever your next home is going to be, you got 2 apartments to rent.
And they're paying your mortgage.
Right. I mean, that's
your
the way
money's
to do
making
it.
money. Exactly.
I never thought the best advice I would get would be from Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor in the Superman movie. It was like land,
They're not making any more of it.
Exchanges will rise and fall. Stocks may fail. People are no damn good, but they're all going to need land, and they'll pay through the nose to get it. So remember, my father said, land. It's the fucking truth from fucking Lex Luthor.
So I saw this story that, again, the mainstream media is not carrying it. In Iowa, they have these plants there, and what they're doing, I guess they're either...
Factories, you mean, plants?
Yeah, they're factories that are making methanol.
Ugh.
All right, so what they have to do is they have to get rid of the carbon. So what they want to do is they want to put pipelines underground, and then they want to take and store it in areas in South Dakota. Why South Dakota? I don't know. South Dakota is, the governor from South Dakota is Kristi Noem.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's very hot.
Why are all the Republican women smoking hot and the liberal women not so much?
I don't know. Well, I mean, AOC's hot. Listen, you don't like her because
if you like the face of a donkey, I guess.
Stop
if you're into
it.
that.
I'm into it.
You're into donkeyism. Okay, you go.
I understand. But her politics is, again, she goes from a 9 to a 2. So now what they're doing is they want to run this pipeline in South Dakota. And what they're doing is they have these surveyors going to these farms that have been there for generations. And they're surveying the farms because they want to build this place where they can store this carbon underground. Why? I don't know. And nobody's saying anything. So they're going to do, so the company that is doing this, it's a private company, is going to put, was that you?
No.
What the fuck was that from?
I don't know. I thought you did it.
Oh, it's Duchess on Duchess on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, Duchess. What the fuck is happening?
Oh shit, my bad.
Fucking soundboard's haunted.
Jesus. I was like, what just happened? So anyhow, they are surveying, this private company is surveying farms, and they're going to, what's that called?
Eminent domain?
Eminent domain. A private company is going to eminent domain these farms and take their land from
Wait a minute. The government can only do eminent domain.
Private companies doing this. So they go to Kristi Noem and say, how's this happening? And she goes, there's nothing I can do about it. Why? Why is there nothing you can do about it? The person that runs the company that's doing all this is the head of the Iowa Republican Committee in Iowa. And so is this number 2 man is also involved in this. So if you want to be president, where's the first state you got to go to? Iowa caucuses. So they have a ton of pull politically. So they're just taking land from these people because they fucking want to.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
No, what I'm saying, it cannot be eminent domain. If it's a private transaction between individuals, there's nothing you can do about it. But eminent domain, unless I'm gravely mistaken, that's strictly the government taking something, and it has to be for a public improvement, like widening a road or building a dam, things like that. That tells me that's why for Kristi Noem to say she can't do anything about it, it has to be a private transaction. Like if you and I decided to do something, there's nothing the government can do to stop it.
They had the guy arrested because the surveyors just showed up on his land and started surveying his land, drilling in his cornfields and shit. And he's like, what the fuck's going on here? They called the cops, hauled him into court for harassment and threats. So all this is going on. Press isn't covering it. Nobody's covering this. And they're just stealing people's lands. It's like, fuck you. We need this. We're going to take your land. We don't care if your family's had it for 4 generations and it's been a farm since the 1800s. We don't care. We need this land, and we're just going to take it. And your government, who's supposed to protect the people, is like, sorry, we can't do anything because it's our party. It is
and they'll cry if they want to.
It's our party, and they'll cry if they want to.
Little Peggy Lee.
And there's nothing we can do about it. I was like, holy shit.
I don't know. There seems to be more to this than meets the eye. I'll have to look into this.
Well, that's what I figured I would tell you, Deuce, because this way you could look into it.
Because you have a hair trigger.
I just told you about a video I saw where a guy was talking about this. That's all I know.
Yeah, but see, you like to jump on shit.
I Googled it. I didn't see anything about it.
I could go into detail.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you have a hair trigger.
Of course I do. I see something like this. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, but see, you have no patience to wait for all the facts to come in.
Okay, somebody better be telling me something soon.
Like case in point, you were like talking about like Trump likes to step on rakes. So you were saying that he was showing stuff to his staff. And like, oh, look at this. He's an idiot. He can't help himself. And then, like, had you waited and listened to, like, the Michael Knowles or the
Dan Bongino,
Ben Shapiro, and it's like, yeah, this
wait 72 hours.
Yeah, this amounts because you got to get it fucking that fast. You got to be fucking Paul Revere. You just can't wait.
Well, you hear the audio. I'll just tell you, I hear the audio.
Am I wrong?
You hear the audio, right? And he's like, look here. And you're like, he showed him the fucking documents. Of course, I didn't see it.
Yeah, but you have to consider the source.
Excuse me. Yeah, I am considering the source.
No, MSNBC reported on it.
I'm considering the source that Donald Trump's sitting there going,
look, who delivered who conveyed the message? That's the source.
I'm hearing the voice.
Right.
Saying.
Well, you have this incredibly deep disdain for Trump, which clouds your judgment.
No. Listen, I like what he did. And I would love to see him be president again for one reason and one reason only. Because he's the guy that would go in there and clean fucking house.
He's got a short time to do it. He only gets 4 years.
That's all right. He would do it in one. He'd be like, you're fired, and you're fired. Oh, remember me? Yeah, you're fired, and you over there, and you pack your shit up, and you're all fired.
Yeah, but see, you're forgetting the fact that we're also voting for senators and congressmen, too.
No, I understand
so you got to have you got to have an overwhelming super majority, like the Democrats had for 40 years after World War II.
He can fire people under his purview. Like, in other words, the Justice Department, the CIA, and the FBI works for him. Mm-hmm. Works for him under the Department of Justice.
Right, but we all know how that ends.
Well, what I'm just saying is he just got fucked over, right? He feels. He gets back in there as president, and he's like, fuck you, you're fired, you're fired. Yeah, all you over there, yeah, pack your shit up, you're done, get out, you're all fired.
Yeah, but then what happens is they run against an Obama or Biden-appointed judge, and they say, no, you can't do that. So that's why you need a super majority in the House and Senate.
Well, I'm just telling you that he would be in there just wrecking the place, which really needs to be. The CIA and the FBI need to be.
Well, the FBI needs to be reformed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're all in agreement on that. I say that to say this. I would love him to do that. But he's never going, my opinion, he's never going to win because the independents fucking hate him. The women, even your Republican women, a lot of your Republican women don't like him and won't vote for him. So they'll do one or two things. They'll either stay the fuck home or they'll vote independent, but they will not vote for Trump.
Or things could get so tragically bad that they wind up going out. Because look what happened with John Corzine. That's how bad things got in this state that they elected Chris Christie.
I understand.
And his first term, Chris Christie was dynamite. But then his head exploded and he thought he could be president, and then he's just fucking crazy. Right. The last 4 years are like less dynamic than the first 4.
I got to be honest with you. I love the fact that he's in there right now just fucking burying Trump, just sitting there.
He's just looking to be AG. That's all he's.
How's he going to be AG?
He would be a great attorney general.
But Trump will never hire him the way he's going after Trump right now if Trump wins this election.
But he's just like...
Who do you think is going to win the primary in the Republican Party?
I don't know. It's too soon to tell. I mean, there's...
Who do you like?
There's too many... I like DeSantis, but I don't know if it's Trump's primary to win or lose. He's so far ahead right now. He doesn't really need to do anything.
You know who I like?
I know you like
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's saying the right things, and he came out of nowhere. He's like in third place.
Right.
Yeah, everyone else is just a has-been. Not a has-been. It's just a placeholder.
I don't think...
Nikki Haley, like what she did as UN, head of the UN for the United States, but she's not presidential.
Here's the thing. I like
She's looking to be a VP.
I like...
Which she has it all over Kamala Harris. She's a blithering idiot.
No, I'll go with that. But my thing is with Vivek Ramaswamy is he has a plan. He knows what he's going to do. All right. And also, he doesn't have the stench on him that DeSantis has with all this. What I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying the gay shit, the LGBT rules that DeSantis is putting through in Florida. This is going to hamper him with independence.
The polls belie that. And
okay,
DeSantis didn't start that fight. Disney did.
I'm not saying it. I'm
He
not
just
saying
ended it.
I'm just telling you. This is. I feel that
you can't be beholden to a. I didn't.
I like
up until
DeSantis.
now. Did you think that any company in the world had the privileges that Disney had?
Yeah, I knew
to
it.
be their own little country.
I knew it. I knew it. But back when they first built that place, that's the deal that they made to build it there.
The vast bulk of the people didn't, and I certainly didn't know it. And I'm like, well, who the hell are they that they're above the law?
They built that. That was nothing but fucking wasted swamp
It was
land.
a tax dodge. Now,
Right.
the way they even got that, you know how they got that land?
No.
Oh, yeah, you might want to read up on that, because what Disney did was he didn't want the price to get inflated when he bought up all that property. And it wasn't wasted, it wasn't swampland. It was a lot of it was orange groves and orange plantations. And what he did is he set up shell companies. And then he said, I'm the WD Orange Growers of Florida. I want to buy 40 acres off you. And they sold it to him. You know, that's what he did. He stealthily moved through the state.
He's a good businessman.
Buying all this. Well, right. You know, he did this all to buy the property up. And then when they got large enough, before they could stop him, then they got the, whatever it was, something creek, then they can write their own.
Well, I'll tell you right
there
now.
can only be one authority. There can't be like how does that work? Just federal, state, municipal, and
Disney
powerful company? No, I don't think so.
I know,
That's not how it's supposed to
I
work.
understand what you're saying, but again, I only know this because I know of a couple people. Like, there's so much shit that goes on here in this state whatsoever, as far as people trying to build businesses. There's a Cracker.
This state is so dirty it's shit brown.
Right. So there's a Cracker Barrel as soon as you come across the bridge from Delaware to New Jersey. Pennsville, whatever. Penn something.
Yeah, Pennsville. It is Pennsville. Pennsgrove's the next town over.
There was a couple of times they wanted to build a Cracker Barrel here, right off of 295. They cannot build one here. It costs them twice the amount of money to build here because of the fucking permits and the red tape and the union shit and all that.
Well, that's New Jersey.
And they said we will never build another fucking Cracker Barrel in this state for as long as we're a fucking company. There's just no way.
They built one in Mount Laurel. Somewhere in Marlton or Mount Laurel.
Did they really?
There was one. Because I knew someone that worked there.
The only one I know of is the one in Pennsville. And I only know that because I know a couple people in this area that wanted to sell their land at Cracker Barrel, and they got so much fucking shit over it that Cracker Barrel just pulled out of the fucking deal.
Right.
They wanted to do it. They were all ready to go, and they could not buy the property, and they could not get it zoned for what they needed. And there's like, fuck this, we're just not going to do it. And
there's one in Mount Laurel, there's one in Pennsville, there's one in Mount Holly.
Okay, well, fuck me, I don't even know what I'm talking
about.
about.
No, there's a good bit of them. No, but I mean, what you're saying isn't, because New Jersey will make things impossible. This state is so corrupt. Did you see what Jerry posted on Facebook?
Jerry from Bad Cop, Bad Cop?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
With fuckface Phil getting booed.
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking awesome. I just see, I'm a big 50. You didn't respond. I tagged you in a post on Facebook.
I got to be honest with you. I barely go to Facebook. And if I do go to Facebook, I go under John Jamingo. I don't go under
I didn't tag you as Jamingo.
Yeah, see, I go under John Jamingo.
You'll love the tag. In fact, you should go look at it now just for your reaction.
Hang on. Here we go. Let me go over to fucking Facebook.
Oh, Phil. Meanwhile,
here we go. Oh, where am I?
If you don't partake of this, I will be very disappointed in you.
Hang on, let me go to my. Whoa! Look at all these notifications.
Yeah,
let's see.
Maybe you should check in more than seasonally.
Right. Oh, I see a lot of my friends are. Joe commented a state. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Yeah. So Deuce sent this to me. It says, "This asshole made me buy this bag," and it's got a picture of old Governor McBeaver teeth.
Yeah, fuckface Phil.
Fuckface Phil. Large totes with handles, strong white, eco-friendly fabric. Picture and wording can be customized, and they are made to order. That is amazing. God damn it.
Could they find a more unflattering picture of
Jesus? So the Duchess, I have the video. Duchess sent me the video for Fuckface Phil for for the Boomer Bunker. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Did you guys do one on Wednesday, or you were off for the holiday?
No, we did one. I just haven't really got to
You
it.
lazy fuck.
I know. I'm fucking horrible.
You only have 17 plates in the air.
So this is what happened.
Don't you like when the guy that does absolutely nothing as far as production comes in here and calls you a lazy fuck?
I know. So here's what happened. Wednesday night, we're all supposed to record our audio. I can't stand our audio from the Boomer Bunker because we just use StreamYard's audio and it's ducks and all that. I hate it. I hate the audio for Boomer Bunker. So I want it to be cleaner. So I had them to. So I got my Rodecaster Pro, recording just like I do right now. I look over and it locked the fuck up, and I can't do anything. I can't do anything. There's nothing there. So
really,
yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So I shut it off. I turn it off. Won't turn off. I'm hitting the power button. Won't turn off. I unplug it. Plug it back in again. Dead. It is fucking dead. So in the middle of the show,
it's fried.
It died. It won't turn on.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, holy shit! Thank God I had this one upstairs in my upstairs studio. Boop, boop.
Like Yosemite Sam running down the steps when Bugs Bunny's flicking the matches.
Where's your music for me when I'm walking? Where is that music?
Oh, wait a minute.
Because this was playing in my head the whole time I'm trying to get this mixer as I'm going up and down the steps trying to get the. Yes, this. So up I go.
You're not exactly Speedy Gonzalez.
Not anymore. But dude, you remember.
Well, you used to be a man of action.
Yeah, I was a man of action. It's not my fault. Fucking age is it's a cruelty. I'm telling you right now. So I up the steps I go. I get the mixer. I come
Meanwhile,
down.
Deuce would be like,
yeah, you bounded up the steps to get the cheesesteaks. I was like, look at that motherfucker go. So I go upstairs. I grab the mixer. I rip the fucking wires out. I bring it down here. I put it back together again. I think I was about 15 minutes. I was back on the show again. I was back on.
That's
there
pretty
again.
outstanding.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, sweat. I'm sweating. Sweat's pouring off.
Turn on your number one fan.
So we go through the whole thing, and people in the chat are like, "Oh, we chased the office show. Oh, look at him." But I mean, it's in the box behind me. I got to send it back.
Right.
I'm waiting for him to send me a return authorization, and now it's going to go back. It's still under warranty. But, yeah, it locked up. So what are you going to do? So, yeah. So when people say to me, oh, yeah, you did this and you did do that and all, I've been doing this a minute. I know what I'm doing. But the fuckface Phil thing is actually pretty good.
I figured you appreciate it. I was like, man, you haven't responded yet. What the fuck is he doing? Over
Yeah,
there?
I go to John. Do you follow me as John Jamingo? Oh, you better not.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah. I don't want anybody to know to
my secret identity.
Your secret identity,
yeah.
Yes.
As I go out at night and fight crime in a red and blue suit.
Yes. All right, hang on a second. So where is it? Okay, so here.
Hey, so just while you're looking for something, did you listen to the last Jason and Mindy podcast?
Not yet.
Okay, they were talking about something. They're talking about roaches.
Oh.
Okay, but down in the Carolinas and Georgia,
they call them
Florida,
palmetto bugs.
Palmettos. Yeah, it makes them sound more exotic.
Yeah,
you know,
fucking roaches.
You know, and I was like, ugh, you know, and it reminded me in 1972 we drove down to Florida. Me, my parents and my two uncles, we took 3 cars down. It was the year after Disney World opened up. So we're driving to Florida. And we stayed in some hotel. It took us like 3 days to drive down there. And we drove down and we were in probably, I'm going to say South Carolina. It's probably the last leg of the journey to get into Florida. And we went to Miami, Florida. We spent time there. And then we went north to Disney. Anyway, we're in the Carolinas, and these fucking roaches, and they're fucking gigantic. They are like the size of like a fucking silver dollar. It's just like the skin just crawls off me thinking about it. Well, these fuckers, they just come marching underneath your fucking motel door.
They don't care.
Just like, yeah, no, I own this fucking place. Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm coming in, you know.
Yeah, they don't care.
So, of course, my mother and my aunts, they have a canary. And they go to the office of the motel that we're staying in, and her like, that room is overrun with roaches. And you're like, oh, we don't have roaches here. The hell you don't. They're coming in on us. Oh, they're palmettos. They're not roaches. And my mother was like, and I'm sure she used more colorful metaphors than I can convey. And she says, I know a fucking roach when I see a fucking roach. So me and Joe and my mother, we slept in a 65 Mercury Monterey with vinyl seats, with the windows rolled all the way to fuck up because we weren't taking any fucking chances. My dad slept in the bathtub.
No shit.
Because it was cold. So my father slept in the bathtub, and my Uncle Carmen slept in the bathtub, and Jerry slept with us. So it's me and my mom, and me and Joe and 2 of the other cousins sleeping in a fucking 65 Mercury Monterey because of fucking palmettos. It makes it sound better than roaches.
White people hate fucking roaches.
There's 3 things I skeeve in life, and it's rats, mice, and fucking roaches. I fucking skeeve them.
I don't mind rats and mice, but fucking roaches.
No, I had a bad experience with rats. I found out at a young age not to corner a rat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they'll come at you.
Oh, fuck, they will.
Yeah, we were in Philadelphia because we're from Philly, and I still had family living in Philly. So I was like probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, which means you're pretty low to the ground when you're 7 or 8. So there was this fucking rat running, and I was like chasing it down the alley, and it went around the corner, and I ran around the corner, and now he's nowhere to go. And it didn't occur, well, now what the fuck do I do? You know, just like, well, the fucking thing was backed up. He fucking came at me, and he's like, fuck, you know, and I'm close to the ground at that age. I'm like, fuck.
They leap at you.
Yeah, he did. He fucking leapt at me, and I fucking, and I fucking ran down the way I came and shit. And I was like, yeah, I don't fuck with roaches, but yeah, vermin, I fucking skeeve fucking vermin.
So I was working at the Barclay Hotel in Philadelphia as an apprentice. I still have my permit, so it just started in the elevator business.
Oh, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Green as green can be.
And the mechanic I worked for was like 60. He was my age.
He's probably dead now.
He's 61. He is dead now. He's an amazing mechanic.
That was how many, 35, 40 years ago? Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're down in the basement, and we're walking. I'm carrying his fucking toolbox. And we're down in the basement, we're walking down to where the road box is, and here's this fucking rat. And same thing, he's cornered, right? So he starts chasing us. So me and my mechanic, we turn around. I still have the toolbox in my hand. I'm hauling ass with the toolbox in my hand, right? He's behind me. I go running, and as I go running, I slam the fucking door, and now he's trapped on the other side of the door with the rat. And he's screaming, son of a bitch, I'll kill you, open this fucking door!
Now it's like Willard.
So then I run over. I open the door, sorry. And he goes running through the door. Jesus Christ, what the hell are you trying to do? I said, well, I'm just going to be faster. I said, I don't have to be faster than the rat. I just have to be faster than you. So he goes,
speaking of roaches, this just happened at work. So I was sitting in the break room with this one guy who won't shut the fuck up, ever. Ever. He will not shut the fuck up. In fact,
was his name Tristan?
No.
Okay.
Superfan Dave. The day before, Superfan Dave and I were on the rotation with this guy. And you've met Superfan Dave.
Yeah.
Superfan Dave is the nicest, gentlest guy you'll ever meet. He's just genuinely a great guy. He's very friendly, very outgoing. I've never seen him in a bad mood. But we're in the room with this asshole, and he's talking. So I have a place to go. Dave, unfortunately, is a captive. So I leave the break room. I spend 20 minutes doing what I needed to do, and I come back in. And I had told him, I said, Dave, if I could have taken a picture of the look on your face without him seeing me take your picture, he was like, eyes glazed over, and he was just like going, just like being on point. And, yeah. Punctuating it. Well, anyway, it's the next day, and I'm stuck in the break room with him. And there's been occasions where he has a less desirable smell.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's like, you know. So I'm eating, and I stand up, and I turn around where the shelves are, where my bag is, and I see this fucking roach crawling across the shelves, you know, above where my bag is. And I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, is that a fucking roach? This guy jumped up, ran over, barehandedly grabbed this fucking roach, crushed it in his hand, and threw it in the trash. And I was like, oh, man, that's all we fucking need in this room. I start tearing the room apart and start cleaning shit because I cannot abide vermin whatsoever. Okay? And I'm like, I get everything clean to my satisfaction. I call management. Yeah, there was a roach in this room. You better get fucking somebody down here. Fucking fumigate this fucking break room. You do what you gotta fucking do, you know? It never occurs to me until I told the story the next day when I said to another guy, I never seen a roach in light before. You know, when you turn the light on, they run?
Yeah.
This fucker was just strolling across like he owned the fucking place. And this other person said, that fucking roach crawled out of somebody's fucking bag. And then it occurred to me that this guy jumped up and grabbed it with his bare hand and fucking crushed it and threw it in the trash, almost as if he's been doing it a lot lately.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's just like, ugh. And so it's like, oh, fuck, man. I get all fucking itchy when I talk about fucking bugs and fucking vermin.
So he's a
shit.
roach man.
Yeah, so he's like, evidently he's a carrier. So the next day, he came to work. He didn't have his fucking bag. He carried a lunch pail in.
No shit.
Yeah, so it's just like, now, is it circumstantial evidence?
That's all I need.
Sure,
you know me.
it
I don't need more than that.
But like, if cocaine shows up at the fucking White House, it has to be Hunter Biden. You know, I'm just saying. It was just like, but dude, it was like, and it was like one of those big fucking like inch-long roaches, not the tiny German roaches, which is horrible, but they're harder to get rid of because much like Nazis, they occupy. They're there for the fucking long run, you know. Those fucking German roaches are fucking tough to get rid of, man.
Once we are here for the long haul.
On your Maginot Line. We are here. Yeah, it was a fucking...
We are here to get rid of the Jew roaches.
Yeah, that's it was like fucking terrible, man. I skeeve fucking shit like that. You know, rodentia, vermin, ugh.
Oh, there's a Schwarzer roach. Get him.
Get the fucking willies, man. I get the fucking... Palmetto's my ass. Palmetto's
Do you want to hear him boo? You want to hear Fuckface Murphy getting booed?
Go ahead, play.
Here we
it.
go.
It was awesome.
I can't be prouder of my fellow New Jerseyans.
What did I tell you guys? Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. He didn't want to hear that. He's a buddy of mine. This is not about politics.
The fuck it ain't.
He's a friend of mine. Do not do that, please. Out of respect for my friends.
Fuck you. Fuck you. And you see he's growing his hair out now?
Yeah.
And he's letting it go gray. Yeah, he's letting it go gray.
He still hasn't done anything about those fucking daggers he calls teeth.
This beaver. This.
Hey, my fucking teeth came in like a crapshoot, but I'm not a fucking billionaire. And before he was a billionaire, I'm sure he was a millionaire. He had the money to take care of that.
Good Lord.
Fucking idiot.
All right.
Yeah, that's at my heart pitter patter when Jerry posted that.
All right, so it's been 2.5 hours. I think we've
yeah, but you got a lot of shit to knock out.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just saying we've done it all. We've said it all. Let me get to the where am I? Oh, I'm in a different thing here.
A thing.
Yeah, I'm in a
You're
different.
taking English with Diane.
Yes,
everything's the thing.
The thing. The thing. All right, let's get some podcast shout outs, if you don't mind. Take it away.
I'm not ready yet. You didn't tell me you were doing that. Okay, if you are looking for some other great independent podcasts to check out, we highly recommend these podcasts. The Jason and Mindy podcast with Jason and Mindy.
The Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony.
They're been on fire lately.
I honestly, God, I haven't listened to like the last 5 episodes. I don't
Really?
know why. I don't know why.
Hey, you're a bad fan.
I'm a bad fan.
You really are. The Unwritable Rant with Juliet Miranda. I cannot wait to retire just because watching Dave the producer and Juliet as they go through life in Nolans now. It's just like, I am like so fucking jelly.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's just like they're the mayor, the mayor and she's the mayor and he's the first man. Yeah, they're always having a good time.
Yeah, it's like nonstop.
It's unbelievable.
I got to hit the lottery or retire. I don't know which.
I know. I shake my head with Lisa and Sam. They're on vacation this week. They're up at the lake, and they're so far up north that there's no cell service.
Wow.
I know. It's pretty.
I've seen the pictures. Wait a minute. There's no cell service, but there's Facebook?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they go into town to do this or whatever, but they don't have cell service.
Because I've seen pictures posted on the line.
Well, see, what they do is they schedule. They have a thing that schedules them. So they might have scheduled everything and then went north. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're not on Facebook, like you had just said. But I'm seeing them like it looks like they're beachside or poolside somewhere.
Yeah, but they follow me on John Jamingo they're at the lake. They're at a lake up in...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing them like sunning and funning.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
Maybe they just hate you. I don't know. Steel Toe Morning Show with Aaron and April.
Boy, am I catching a lot of shit for being a fan of this show, which is fine. I like the show.
Steel Toe?
Yeah, it's on. It's actually a YouTube show that he live streams on Monday through Friday from 7:00 Eastern until 11:30. He does 2-hour shows at night, 3 nights a week.
Yeah, Doug and Anthony talk about it on Who's Right. Talk about them a lot.
Yeah, I think they do a good show. I don't know, but then we got these other fucking moron trolls. One from South Jersey. He lives over in Township.
Which one?
You know which one.
The
Yes.
Well, there's Cherry Hill.
I know.
There's Hamilton.
I know.
Egg Harbor.
Yes, I know.
Gloucester, Winslow, Waterford.
Yeah. Yes, I know. That's the one. So. Yeah,
the reason I went with that one is because the people there, as a rule, are very stuck up and they think that it's the center of the universe. Little do they know that wherever Deuce goes is the center of the universe.
Absolutely. So, his show is called, I'm not even going to tell you.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Tell me off, Mike.
All right. You have different show notes than I do, so I'm going to just go off. I Am Canceled with Edward. Now, here's the deal. Edward is now the editor of Rubberneckers. I actually hired an editor, and he does a great job.
Okay.
When he has internet and stuff, he's having problems.
When? Yes. So that's like saying, yeah, I hired this landscaper, and when he has a wheel, he comes and does the work.
Right now, yes. Right now, yes.
Okay.
I paid him for 2 episodes 2 weeks ago, and I might get him today. I don't know. We'll see. It's okay. It's fine.
The Boomer Bunker with Bob and John, and I guess it's fair to say with Duchess also, since you guys are a trifecta now.
Duchess is now joining the show.
Maybe you want to send me an updated podcast shout-out list here.
Dude, it's once a month. I woke up this morning. I'm scratching my nuts in bed. I'm like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? It's not like I come running down here to start to rechange it. And here's the other thing. You have a different list than mine. I don't even know what you have. I don't even know where you got it from.
Well, you sent it to me.
I understand that, but how come you have a different...
Why don't you just send me the one you're reading off of, and that'll be the default.
Yours is better than mine. What do you want from me? I don't know.
I mean, I got...
Here's the problem. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, the problem is you won't use Crow. I can't send you a fucking thing.
Well, I know I'm the problem because I'm an eccentric.
Yes,
I'm an eccentric millionaire. This is what I do.
And you're making it my fault because
I walk around, look out windows, drive, and I do a podcast once a month.
And then you bitch at the guy because he can't send you information because you won't use a fucking browser that 9,000,000 fucking % people use.
I got reasons.
I know you got reasons, but what do you want from me? I can't fucking do anything.
I got principles.
Jesus Christ.
Well, because you skipped right over married as fuck with Randall and Brooks, so I don't even know what's going on with that.
I don't either.
It's like, send me what you want to use.
I don't know.
We're like months apart on these fucking lists.
Now listen, it's got to be me because everybody hates me. They hate because I tell the truth.
Well, it's not that everyone hates you; it's just everyone knows that you suck.
Yes. So so I go right, and Jody, he's my partner on Rubberneckers, and this asshole from Township, right? He's breaking my ball, and they're over making friends with him and fucking Bob, right? And he's like, "Oh, I don't care. So that guy don't bother me." I'm like, "I fucking attack." I'm telling you right now, Deuce, you know how I am. If somebody was attacking Bob, what would I do?
Side with the other guy.
Fuck, I would not. I'd be in there arm in arm with Bob, fucking defending him. I would fight with him. Him, Jody, you fuck, I swear to God.
So this guy lives in that other township.
Yeah, he lives in Township.
Yeah, he's right next door to me. Maybe I should meet up with this guy.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Drinks at Racks. Hey, why not?
Right. Dumbest fucking guy I ever met.
Tavern on Green Tree Road. Hey, why not? Why the fuck not?
He got a typical township education. He's a fucking half-witted moron. I listened to him the other day. I was really pissed off about it. I was listening to him the other day. I said, this guy's just dumb.
Now I'm intrigued.
Oh, I'll send you a link.
Where do we leave off? I think I was going to say Boomer Bunker with Bob and John
and Duchess. You did say
and
that.
Duchess. Okay.
All right. So now I have Brilliant Observations with Jessica and Melissa.
That I got.
All right.
And then I have Rubbernecker's podcast with John, Jody, and
That's it.
That's it.
And then we have guests. No, we just have John and Jody and no guests.
You haven't lost Jody
No, we have
yet?
guests. No, Jody's the one I was just pitching about. Probably lost him this week. After my fucking rant. Yeah, is it too much? Here's another. Jody comes in for Rubberneckers. I do all this. I asked the guy to have my back, and he's in there calling me fat too. I mean, what the fuck? It's like I don't know I'm fat.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was just hurt because you got the Brand X banner down, but
I took it.
Well, I mean, I'm just sitting here. Look, couldn't you take that dad American flag and all that other shit down? Put the Brand X one next to it. I mean, God forbid you promote this fucking podcast.
Okay.
Like I do so much.
I promote it more than you do. I was
waiting for the how dare you.
I was thinking about it. How dare you.
You just got to get Greta Thunberg on there. Greta. The Greta Thunberg.
Damn it. I know I have it in here
You know
somewhere.
that bitch is 20 years old now? That's why she's not relevant, because she's not a kid. They can't exploit that.
Right. That's exactly why. No one cares about what she says.
No.
I was offended and I have rights.
How dare you?
There
it is. I break my balls here. I do all the work. I set up all this shit. I get topics. So I'm not saying Jody don't get topics and everything, but I come in here. I do the heavy lifting. All right.
I feel bad because I just stroll in here with drinks.
That's fine. Dude, that's fine. I enjoy the shit out of doing this. I love the fact that, this is, sorry, Bob, this is my favorite podcast to do, and I'll tell you why. I control everything.
I don't know. I think you like all of them.
No, I like doing Bummer Bunker. I do. But
I think that scratches the itch you have for your
politics.
Your need to talk about politics.
It does. But see, the thing about Brand X is you come here. I control everything. I control your audio, my audio. I don't have to worry about the internet. I don't have to worry about drift.
You sound like it's a good thing. You control
everything. Control it. I
I
do. I'm a control freak. I control everything.
It's rather foreboding.
Right. Rubberneckers. Jody books the guest, and he gets a bunch of stories, and he puts them on a board.
Your lack of faith disturbing.
Exactly. So then Jody puts them on the board, and I go and research them and pull videos and everything. And I set up the show, and I run the show. Jody, that lazy motherfucker won't even take care of the chat. Like, I asked him, Jody, you think you could take care of the chat? No, I got time for that. Oh, excuse me. Bob shows up. Bob says you talk too much. I throw it to Bob. Okay, Bob, what do you think? Blink, blink. I get the goldfish
eyes. Well, you
eyes.
shit all over Bob.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
I love Bob. I do. I love Bob. I love Bob.
I side with Bob more than
I
do you.
Of course you do. 3-hour fucking podcast.
I always feel bad for Bob. And I really mean that. I always go,
Here we go. Is it too much to ask? Like, again, I just say, is it too much to ask to be prepared?
You have
to
no
do
patience.
a show? What?
What's your blood pressure? I mean, it must be like through the roof because you have absolutely no patience with anybody.
Right now, my vision's blurred. But I'm just trying to say.
I feel woozy and my vision's blurred. Moments later, as Deuce calls 911.
All right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Bonsai.
Yeah, see. Look at me.
That's a WDVK back in the day.
I told you. Right? I told you. This is exactly what I was talking about. I was telling everybody, they said this song sucks. I was like, what, are you kidding me?
Back in the day at DBK.
Yeah, this was one of the greatest, what do we call that? Read off.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we go off the air at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
They don't have the station there anymore, It's done.
What?
Oh, it's gone.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's gone, evidently. They did away with the radio station there.
Oh, there's no
Crime Against Nature.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. 10 powerful watts of radio brilliance.
100, how dare you?
Oh, 10 mile radius, yeah. It was
10
100 watts.
100 watts, yes. All right, everybody.
Too much old fashions.
See, that's what happens. In the show notes, it has all the links. Come to our Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Come check us out. We appreciate you doing it. We do this episode once a month. It's a labor of love. We hope you come in here and
emphasis on the labor for John
and love.
Just
for
heard
Deuce.
his last screed.
Well, God forbid, when I get done here, I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hand you 4 fucking screws and a drill, and you can put that fucking sign up over there.
Okay,
there you go.
So no one will see it.
Yeah, because you won't come on camera. It's not my fault.
We can put it over there.
Oh my God!
I spent all that money for that banner. Told you where you can get a Boomer Bunker banner. Yeah, tell him that, Mr. Wise Guy. I'm prepared for everything.
You know what? I could have took the one down and put the other one up, and you would have never known the wiser.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to miss the Brand X banner.
No, I'm saying I got to put that over that one. All right. Anyhow, if you guys are still hanging around for this, you guys are super fans.
The Fine Whining Podcast, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Devin, come in here.
My fart box.
Devin, come in here and tell us about your podcast. Devin,
hey, yeah.
Who used to be the Rubberneckers?
Yeah. What's up, Deuce, buddy? What's up, John?
Hey, Vin.
So we do a podcast called the Fine Whining Podcast, where we just basically bitch about shit as, a couple of 20-somethings.
Be honest with you, Deuce, it's actually a really good podcast. He doesn't know how to do a show. He doesn't know how to do a promo, but it is actually a good podcast.
See, that's how you are.
I am.
You always give a left-handed compliment. Yeah, the guy really sucks, but it's a great cut.
No, I said the show is really good. I just don't feel like he sold it.
No, I don't ever sell it very well because I don't trust my co-hosts because they're both retards.
That's not wrong.
But I never have faith in John to give a genuine right-handed compliment. It's always a left-handed.
I'm just telling you that the show is good. He makes me laugh. Sometimes I'm laughing with him. Sometimes I'm laughing at him. The Fine Whining Podcast. Go over, listen to Devin, Mike, and Cheese. There you go. And Bob's in the house now. We're going to turn it. As I turn the show off,
Hey, Bob, what's up?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I just want to ask everybody to go to YouTube and subscribe to Soft Weekly.
Oh, fuck you. Let's go down. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Adios, bitches.
Cut that part out.